On December 4, 2024, exactly on the 6th Avenue in New York, around 6:20 a.m., there was a white man wearing a black coat with a hood, in addition to a gray backpack and a black mask. He left Starbucks after buying 2 energy bars and a bottle of water. Then, he casually walked through the 6th Avenue to the 54th Street and stopped near the New York Hilton Midtown Hotel. The man was calm, sometimes watching left and right, as if he was waiting for someone. After a few minutes, at 6:44 a.m., the masked man noticed his target walking on the other side of the street. He walked behind him, and in a matter of 15 seconds, he shot him with 7 9mm bullets from a pistol equipped with a suppressor. He hit him one time in the right calf, then several times on the back. The man that was shot was Brian Thompson, a 50-year-old businessman and CEO of United Healthcare, which since 2021 has become the largest private insurance company in the United States and the 9th largest company in the world. The shooter crossed the street near the Hilton Hotel and fled through an alleyway before hopping on an electric bike on the 55th Street. He then headed north on the 6th Avenue toward the Central Park, where he was last seen at 6:48 a.m. Authorities quickly rushed to Brian for first aid and CPR. Shortly after, ambulance took him to Mount Sinai West Hospital, but the shots left him in a very critical state. Sadly, he succumbed to his wounds at 7:12 a.m. The question now is, was it just an unrelated crime, or was Brian Thompson personally targeted? And if such an important person can be killed that easily, what does that mean for the rest of CEOs and other important personalities? Private and public security cameras captured clear footage of the man from his visit to Starbucks and the shooting location until he left 55th Avenue. Though analytics could not undergo a face recognition due to the black mask covering his face. The killer didn't just stop randomly near the hotel. Brian Thompson was gonna speak at an investor conference in the same hotel later that day at 8 a.m. for the United Health Group. As you can imagine, the investors' conference was subsequently cancelled, with company officials telling attendees they were dealing with a very serious medical situation with one of their team members. The footage also revealed the weapon, a semi-automatic 9mm gun, but there was a problem with it. It jammed during the shooting, forcing the perpetrator to pop out the ejecting casings by racking the slide of the gun. NYPD investigators explained that was due to using subsonic ammo, which travels slower with an average velocity of 290 meters per second or 950 feet per second, and this is slower compared to normal bullets, which can travel at around 430 meters per second or 1400 feet per second, but this makes them quieter. Nonetheless, they are commonly used in combination with suppressors, which gets the job done. But because of that, the rack of the pistol may not come back far enough to eject the casings and cause the pistol to jam. These first leads led investigators to believe that the attack was a premeditated, pre-planned, targeted attack, and the shooter may not be a professional, but had at least some training using that gun. While searching the area, the police found a water bottle and a cell phone belonging to the shooter. The evidence was taken for further analysis, hoping to be able to get information about the suspect through fingerprints or any data on the cell phone. Another interesting thread the investigators followed was the electric bike, which belongs to a company called City Bike. The company requires a credit card from customers to be able to rent it. In addition, the bike was equipped with a GPS device. So, between the creation of City Bike account, connecting it to a credit card, and docking the bike, riding it around the city, and docking it again at a new location, every user creates many streams of digital breadcrumbs, which can help lift. which is the company that operates City Bike to track users' locations and possibly their identity. To solve this, NYPD computer experts worked closely with them to identify the killer. At this point, no arrests have been made so far because police were still searching for the suspect, and the NYPD Crime Stoppers have put out a $10,000 reward for any information regarding Thompson's killer, or anything leading to the arrest and conviction of the person behind the attack. Speculations started to spread about the motives of this assault, but Brian's wife, Paulette Thompson, reported that he had received threats in the past, especially related to his job and the company, citing lack of coverage as a possible reason for the threats. Many people, especially through social media, have shown their distrust and discontent over the policies of the company, as many reports claim unfair denial of life-saving requests. The words deny, defend, and depose were found written on shell casings at the crime scene, which is the name of a shady tactic used by American health insurance companies to deny coverage to people in need. This may be related to the killer's motive, to kill the company's CEO, or was it just a trick to confuse investigators? 2 days later, on December 6th, after going through the numerous security cameras, authorities were able to get footage of the suspect coming to Manhattan in a bus, which in turn came from Atlanta on November 24th. Then, the shooter checked into the High New York City hostel on the Upper West Side of Manhattan, where his face was caught during the checking in for a brief moment where he made a huge mistake. He took off his mask. He stayed there until the day of the shooting. Then, after fleeing through the Central Park, the suspect took a taxi on Amsterdam Avenue and went to George Washington bus station, then fled to Philadelphia. Among all the pile of evidence the police found, a backpack was found in Central Park the same day. Investigators believe it belongs to the shooter, but surprisingly, it only had a jacket and was full of Monopoly money. Meanwhile, the FBI joined the investigation separately, and they put a reward of up to $50,000 for any information leading to the arrest of the suspect. Three days later, at a McDonald's restaurant in Pennsylvania, a customer was sitting, enjoying her meal. As she turned her head, she spotted a young man sitting at the next table. She somehow felt that she had seen him before, and then it clicked. She saw him on the news. She called for an employee, pretending to order something else, and told her that the man sitting near her might be the suspect on the wanted posters posted by the NYPD. The employee quickly called the police, who rushed to the place and caught the man. But was he really the shooter everyone was looking for? You see, they found inside his bag a gun and a suppressor, in addition to a false driving license. But the surprise was that on the table, there was a 3-page handwritten document expressing his anger and disdain of the greedy healthcare private companies and their executives, as he claimed they had it coming. The man in question was identified as Luigi Mangione, a 26-year-old man who since July 2024 was reported missing by his mother. On a side note, the gun and the suppressor were actually 3D printed. Police said they were consistent with the weapons used in the shooting, and the false driver license was under the same name as the one used by the shooter to check into the Manhattan hostel. Those, in addition to his fingerprints, matched the one found on the crime scene. This was enough evidence to convict him of the murder of the CEO of United Healthcare. Police assumed the motive was partially due to an injury Mangione sustained that required him to attend the emergency room in July 2023. He shared online images showing screws in his back, but the identity of the person in the pictures was unconfirmed, and he may allegedly have done that due to a denied healthcare insurance coverage from health insurance companies. Nonetheless, he was charged with second-degree murder, 3 counts of illegal weapons possession, forgery, 2 counts of stalking, and terrorism, and with all these charges, he was eligible to the death penalty. Many social media users celebrated the shooter as a hero after his arrest. Mangione received praise and support on social media following his detention, and after being identified on Twitter, he gained over 460,000 followers, and since then, variations of hashtags such as Free Luigi have been retweeted on Twitter more than 50,000 times, and various street art, graffiti, and signs in support of Mangione appeared on buildings, streets, highways, and other places. During Mangione's court hearings in December, crowds of people gathered outside of the Manhattan Criminal Court and the Blair County Courthouse to express their support. The public's frequently unfavorable perception of the healthcare insurance sector and what many believe to be unjust claim of denial procedures that caused harm have been linked to the support Mangione has garnered. Ironically, the McDonald's employee may not receive the $60,000 reward that was offered for the arrest of Luigi. This is due to the complex rules of the reward offered by the FBI and the NYPD. For example, the NYPD part is given through Crime Stoppers, and since the employee called 911 instead of using the Crime Stoppers hotline, she isn't eligible for the reward. As for the FBI part, it is stated that the tip must lead to the arrest and also the conviction of the suspect. So she must wait until Mangione receives his final sentence, to finally wait again for the approval of several agencies and the Secretary of State to have a chance to receive the reward.